My name is Rod Van Blake, author of the Ancient Illumination series as well as the Yambani Chronicles, and I am joined once again by Jordan Purnell Jackson.
Hey, everybody.
He is the creator of the Eve of Insurrection and the Eve of Reclamation. He's also the illustrator on the graphic novels for both of the Ancient Illumination graphic novels, as well as the upcoming Yambani Chronicles, Genesis of the Chaos Master comic that will be releasing this October. We are here to discuss episode 3 of Miss Marvel. That came out, I believe, last week. Is one of the fourth episode was released this week. Destined, I believe, is the subtitle of it. So, spoiler alert if you haven't watched at least up to episode 3. We are given another preview of what happened in the past two episodes. And that leaves us with, at the end of the preview, they leave us with that. I'd like you to meet my mom from Kamran, who picks Kamala up in the Lamborghini or whatever the car he's driving, and he said was his uncle's car. That was interesting. And then we're given a flashback into the British occupied India in like 1942.
Yeah.
Something like that, which was an interesting scene. We're getting lots of Easter eggs in this episode, I think, from like various movies. They're dropping dimes on a whole bunch of stuff in this one.
Oh, I want to hear your references, movie wise. I want to hear what.
Well, yeah, we find out that the clandestines, that's who they call themselves, are.
Yep. Yes.
And in the flashback scene, they're finding this bangle that apparently was given to Aisha and then passed down to Kamala. So they find the first one, I think, was we see the bangle on a blue hand.
Yeah, and I was curious, like, what's that blue hand right there? Is that a scroll or something?
No, that looks to be Kree.
Kree, that's the other race. That was the race Kree.
So to me, that was a Easter egg for Captain Marvel. So they dropped it. They had the Kree arm with this bangle. So the possibility of these bangles being maybe some type of Kree technology. We've had already another Easter egg. I don't know if it was in this episode, in the flashback, or we saw it before when they briefly saw them digging or trying to excavate, but we saw the symbols from the 10 rings also. So that was a Shang-Chi Easter egg. When you see, they have the top-down shot of them when they're arguing over, there's another bangle. He's like, well, the one's going to have to do, the British have gone through.
Right.
But those symbols you see on the ground, it's in a circle. Those are the 10 rings. So it's a Shang-Chi reference. And so there's a lot here. Captain Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy, Easter eggs, and even Thor Easter eggs are in this movie. So Aisha, the Jinn, therefore Kamala's bloodline is a Jinn. So we see that they've strayed from what I saw from the comics. I'm gonna keep it 100. I didn't read all the Kamala Khan and Miss Marvel comics, but I know that in that storyline she's an Inhuman, whereas this one, it looks like she's at least part. She's a Jinn born in this universe, and they're kind of acting at first like they just need these clandestines, this group of Jinn. They just need help. They're kind of nice.
We need to get back home.
Yeah, we need to get back home. They don't really. I was like, I don't know how you felt in that first scene. I was like, when Kamran's mom was explaining how they escaped and what went down in the past, why they didn't just take the bangle, like right then and there. Because Kamala she asked her like, well, do you want my bangle? And she doesn't answer that. She's just playing nice, I guess. And I guess hence that perhaps Kamala's the only one that can really use it, but we saw Aisha use it, when they separated in the flashback scene. True. So it's not a matter of she's the only one that can use it, but then.
Well, in this current timeline, I guess do you think her grandmother would know how to use it, or did did Aisha just use it to save her grandma?
I don't know, but her great-grandmother used it, and then they got separated. So it shows that the Jinn can use it themselves. But when they're talking, remember, she says that unlocks the Noor within you, the power within you. but she also hints that perhaps Kamran will find something that unlocks his power here, but obviously for whatever reason, the Bengal won't do it for him. You know what I mean?
They must have a different
I think
object.
there's something different supposedly that's going to unlock their power and not just use the same artifact that she's wearing. And then, of course, she comes back. It was kind of funny. She came back from what went down when she did the rescue, and it's got to be the most generic team name ever. Like Department of Damage Control.
Yes, I was mad. I was like, "That's what DODC stands for." I'm like, man, this is goofy. This is like knockoff shield, whatever sword. It's like the most great value version of all of those groups. Like, boo.
Yeah,
but I see. Right. But you need them. I mean, you need a type. You need an arm in the government to handle those cases. But it's like damage control, superheroes.
Like the cleanup crew, but again, they still remind me of if anybody's played that Marvel's Avengers video game. It reminds me of the government agency they had there that were just looking for enhanced people.
Might be a reference to that.
Yeah, they had drones. The technology they use this weird little light thing where they're trying to seek people out and fly around the city. It gave me that same type of vibe. And then she tells Bruno's like, you can't just text me I'm alive, then get a full 8 hours and then just pop up on me like ain't nothing happened. Like, where'd you go?
It's like I was thinking about how, like, you know how in superhero shows the superhero has to keep their identity from their like families and friends, and I think about like how long that's gonna last.
Yeah,
like, logistically, and it's like it's cool that Bruno knows, but it's like, when's everybody else gonna find out?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on too. So yeah, she enlists him. You know what we call it wasn't dollar store. It was five and below.
Five and below.
So she tells Bruno, I need help. If you can help me with interdimensional travel and whatnot. And this is where we get, after he kind of looks into it, he has this book on Jinn that's in Urdu. So he needs Pops to kind of translate, even though he's trying to hide it from him for some reason when he's at the convenience store.
Pops kills me, yo.
Yeah, Pops is cool. He comes to get his little
hostess. Get a little tasty cake. Like, look, such an old dude. Cake.
Hostess. He got a real hostess taste, man.
That's artificial flavoring. That artificial flavoring gets him.
So, and that where you see the drawings in Bruno's notebook where he's studying to try and figure all this stuff out about the Jinn, about interdimensional travel, and you see, and he mentions to Kamala about Eric Selvig. So that's a deep cut into the first Thor movie. Selvig was the doctor that was working with Jane Foster, and also he was the one that was taken over by the Tesseract, and he was studying kind of like opening up wormholes when the Chitauri were coming through that like wormhole from.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, wow. So that little drawing with the little hourglass and the weird like shapes that were there was him studying that whole interaction that the Chitauri forces were coming to try and take Earth over. With I guess the advanced forces from Thanos before Thanos really comes and they shut it down. So that was that was Thor. We probably got all of them now. We got Shang-Chi up in there. We got the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy with the Kree, Captain Marvel with the Kree, and Thor with Eric Selvig. Then we get to another scene. There's like this wedding prep where Mom's is complaining about Mom's not being there for her wedding.
For
my son's wedding.
Rough. Oof.
Yeah. And Kamala's just kind of listening in and like, I would never cause trouble. They talk about the mother-daughter dynamic.
Yeah.
It was interesting. We also get the Department of Damage Control just popping up on the masjid, trying to look for this mysterious brown girl with the superpowers, and them shutting her down. That was kind of funny. Especially the way the imam, I don't know if he's the imam, they were calling him Sheikh, but the imam was like, next time, take off your shoes. Like,
right. I like how he said, yeah, we need a flying superhero to clean out the rain gutters.
Yeah. If I had someone like that, I would enlist her to help me clean up this place or whatever. Yeah, it was pretty cool. We get more wedding prep, and Kamala's still around trying to ask questions, but she's like in a roundabout way because it's kind of that's weird scenario where you're asking like I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Not really, because she's really talking about her. Like, how do you know if she's good? And he gives her that good is not a thing you are, it's a thing you do. So this was kind of like there. With great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. He's her Uncle Ben. I was like,
yeah, that little slogan he gave her. And then you see her open the box, which is Bruno's gift, which we know is like a little face shield of her final like super.
Do you think he just made the face shield, or is there like more pieces?
I think they're piecemealing us. I think they're gonna give it to us.
Like how because I'm thinking about that. Like, all right, there's a face mask. When are we gonna get the sash? When are we gonna get the shirt? Like, I want to know what's gonna be the process of that.
Well, I think
Bruno made the whole suit. Or
I think Nakia gave her the sash already. She's already got the red sash. To incorporate.
I remember. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, Nakia's already given her the red sash. And after the research, Bruno realizes it could be dangerous to send the Jinn back because they're going to need to have use of a primordial power. And so he's like, it could go boom. She's like, she doesn't skip a beat. She's like, well, if I was Carol Danvers. I'm like, but you're not Carol Danvers.
You're not Carol Danvers. You don't have those abilities.
And even if she did, like, you can't control the ones you got. Like, you need, like, she seriously needs like a Rocky moment to do some training and figure out.
She needs a real montage.
Yeah, before she starts ripping holes in the time-space continuum, she needs to figure out what she's doing with what she got first. What did you think about all that?
I mean, I feel like just Kamala needs to just slow down, and it's also interesting. We didn't really get into like kind of like the dynamic or relationship between Kamala and Bruno, and how like he finally tells her he got it. Was it Caltech? What's the name of the school? Is that the school?
Yeah.
He got into Caltech, and then we have this. Why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, oh, we have these feelings that are clearly up in the air. Like,
you was like ignoring me for homeboy. That's why I didn't tell you. I couldn't. You didn't give me a chance when I tried to.
You're like, I'm gone though, and like, so that he's still helping out. He's still being a good friend, helping her out. But I just, we're getting to a point once again where I'm like, I'm curious about the Jinn, the group that we've been introduced with that's from another universe.
The clandestines.
The clandestines, where they're gonna go. But so far, I've been enjoying just the dynamic of the characters. And just like, I don't know why, but like I really enjoy when we're not the non-action scenes where we're seeing Kamala deal with her family, because those moments are very relatable. And this whole theme of like kind of this mother and daughter relationship is like, it's just so it's told very well, where it's like you can feel it.
And let's keep it real. It's a Disney show. Through and through to me. So the action scenes aren't the penultimate experience in this.
Yeah, they're not the best, and they're not the best. They're not the best, but they get the job done.
They do, but I'm saying the most fulfillment you're going to get is going to be from the family dynamic and the things that go around these trappings of like this budding superhero story. And very easy, like I said, I think in our first episode when we were discussing this, Kamala is, like many of us in life, just trying to find her way. This just added an extra dimension to her, to the point where now we see her in this episode like come to her mom, like, how did you do it when you were lost? You came here to America. Because she, the mom is like, it's one of the endearing moments. Mom is like, America was my mountain to climb. This when I felt like the world was against me, and I had to find my place by finding a family, finding the masjid, find the mosque, and Aunt Humaira, and basically found my family. And then they continue that on when you hear Pops talking to her big bro that's about to get married, when he's he
only had $732.49
and my boy was like, I'm surprised you had that, but it was hilarious. But like you chose family, and once you choose family, that takes bravery. So
Yeah.
like those are the more fulfilling moments that are going to be
Yeah,
in,
like
in the
Dad
show.
had great lines. Dad had great lines. I felt that. I'm like, yo, I love this dad right. This is the ultimate dad right here. Like,
Yeah,
great.
those moments are great. There's lots to this show that I think people are overlooking for reasons that they want something other. And it's like we have plenty of other shows that give you exactly what you want if that's all you want. If all you wanted was 47 to 50 minutes of ass whooping and less story, you could get that elsewhere, to be honest. And if they gave us that, it would just be more of the same, but with this character, which I don't think it would really fit, being the age, the demographic of this show and the demographic of the main character of the show, you couldn't really have that. She's not just going to be going off killing and whooping
Yeah,
everybody.
what is this? A martial arts film?
Yeah, exactly.
straight out of Pakistan. We have
I
this
grew up
action
with
flick.
the Samurai Sunday. We could, you can go watch that if all you want to do is watch the slick fight scenes. Even though there is something in this particular episode I found hilarious, but we'll get to that later when we talk about when we get to the wedding scene. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and get to the wedding scene. We'll talk to you in a second. And welcome back to the second half of the Askari Cast. My name is Rod Van Blake, and I am here with Jordan Purnell Jackson.
Hey, everybody.
And we are continuing our discussion on Miss Marvel episode 3, Destined. So yeah, we finally, after all that preparation and little cool family stuff with Kamala talking to and confiding in her mom, and then Pop's giving some encouragement to his son before their wedding day that he's all, I guess it's a tradition to take the shoes of the groom.
Yeah.
It was a cool little wedding, man.
Took my man. Yeah, they were lit at the wedding. They were lit.
Yeah, they get to the lines and stuff. They have all the the food, because I guess the wife to be is getting dolled up. She's getting henna on her feet, and they're feeding her. She doesn't have to lift a finger, and she seemed to enjoy whatever it was they were feeding her on the fork. And they done hid the shoes to my boy, and then we get to the actual wedding, and I kind of like the simplicity of the vows. And they're just like, it seemed like they just repeated it.
Oh, I do 3 times?
Yeah.
I was like, interesting.
To be your husband? Do you take him to be your husband? And she's like, I do. And she's like, well, I really do. And then he's probably funny. He's like, I'm down.
Yeah,
that was funny.
I'm down with the brown.
Yeah. Fucking brown dude for you. Yeah, he's down with the brown. Then they have this little dance party thing that we've seen in some of the Bollywood films have even had this, when the wedding scenes where everybody comes out and just starts dancing.
Everybody. We have Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno was up there.
Bruno got involved.
Did you notice the little brother, little black kid, had the Hulk suit on?
I was dying laughing when he slid by. I'm like, yo, what is he doing here? I'm like, get him out of here.
He's got to be somebody's little brother, little cousin, or something on the black side of the family. But I was laughing because he had the Hulk outfit. He had the
suit on. I was down. Yeah. I was like, yo, they brought how they brought that back.
Out of it. Then we get, Brown Jovi was the band that they had playing. It was hilarious. Them being
we do quinceañeras, bar mitzvahs.
Staunch. Yeah, we do bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras. And then, of course, Kamran comes in, and
Andrea was and wasn't right.
No, because he's not the villain. Mom's is.
I know. That's why I want to give her that, because technically he was a part of the villain group, but he flopped. But he flip-flopped.
That doesn't make him the villain. What he does makes him the villain or not, because he comes before they get there to warn her.
Hey, wait, and I'm like, oh.
He's still calling Bruno Brian the whole time. It's hilarious.
That was hilarious. Let me get Brian out of here.
He does
it on purpose.
You need to back off.
He does it on purpose.
So they get to the fight scene. The clandestines show up, and what's up with Pootie Tang?
Yo, the belt.
Yeah.
Yo, I literally, I'm still like trying to process that. Like, he had the indestructible belt whip, and I'm like, his fight choreography was great, but it's just the fact that he took his belt out and Pootie Tang. He was like
Yeah,
super Pootie Tang.
yeah, my
He
boy
was
was
going
there.
in. He was going in too.
Yeah. Kamran warns them and then ends up fighting them to try and save them. Pootie Tang and the gym crew go through an attack and are eventually caught by the Department of Damage Control. So yeah, like I said, the fight scene was okay to me. Had a little bit of a chase scene in the kitchen where she tries to hide from them, and of
Yeah, they
course,
tried to make a thriller movie in a way. Could turn the lights
and
off
of
and
course
try to
she
draw
she
you
gets
up.
spooked, and you see the hard light come out when nobody's even around her, letting them know where she is, and they all encircle her. And at first they were getting her. Then she breaks out the super long pimp smack when
Yo, she smacked Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang was about to go get.
Yo, did you see how he flipped the belt and then the chair magically just hits Bruno? I was like, yo, that's hilarious because I didn't see that coming, but that was funny. Like, my man's got smacked by the chair. He's out.
Yeah, Kamran jumps in. Get Brian out of here. We skipped over the part where she actually just pulled the fire alarm to get everybody out of there to try and get her family to safely out of the way of these people coming to attack. And of course, one of the party members is trying to snitch. Kamala pulled the fire alarm. I saw it. And old girl was on her like, you didn't see nothing.
Yo.
She had her driver's license revoked. Like, God damn. Like,
yeah, Auntie was wild. I love Auntie. Auntie, she's great. She has smoke for everybody. I'm like, yo,
you didn't see nothing. You can't see. See, it was a cool episode, and then of course they get clapped up by the DODC, and Kamran along with them gets clapped up. How did nobody see Bruno and Kamala sitting there?
That is something I have to I feel very conflicted about, because it's like, did the DOD see them as victims in this situation? Just let them get away?
It's kind of, but if they,
it's a little,
yeah, it's shaky because they're clearly looking for a brown girl. Like and Kamala is right there with the.
But they found all the brown people.
Yeah.
And they was like, well, y'all look like what we're looking for. Y'all look like the real assailants here. Let's nab you up. But
so yeah, they snatch up Pootie Tang and the crew and take them in the paddy wagon and leave Kamala and Bruno to limp off, where ultimately they get caught by Nakia. Yep. Which is, what is Nakia doing
in the bag? Hey, this is exactly what like annoys me about like superhero movies. Like I want to hear your take on like hiding the main character hiding their identity, but it's like inevitably somebody's gonna find out. It always happens. Like you can't hold the lie up. You can't hold the secret up long enough. So it's like eventually everyone's gonna find out. So like even when like how we earlier where the fire alarm was triggered and everyone was looking for Kamala, I'm like, and this is when we have our moment. Where's Kamala? And then it's like
you never see them in the same place. Like
exactly. So it's
but the other thing, it hampers the story. Like you're at a stopgap where you can't really progress until the identity is revealed, at least to some people, so they can stop sneaking and hiding around. Like it.
Yeah.
You have to progress that way. Otherwise, you're just stuck in this like place of limbo where I'm not going to tell you what's going on. And at the end of this episode, it was really frustrating because at that point, I think she should have just come clean to Moms and let her know.
Yeah, when she got home.
She's like, where have you been? Like, not again. You done snuck out again. There's a rumor that you done pulled a fire alarm. You need to tell me what's up. You're our daughter, and we care for you, but we can't help you if we don't tell what's going on.
Exactly.
And that, to me, was an opportunity for Kamala to be like, yeah, how do you like it? Same thing. Like, you need to come clean because there's stuff going on in my life right now with this Bengal and Nani and our great grandmother that you're not willing to tell me. It's got to do with why do you think I've been asking all these questions? And every time I ask, you shut me down. Now you want some truth. Like, I'll trade you.
Let's do a trade, mama. Let's do a
Yeah,
trade.
I'll tell you what's going on if you come clean about, what is the big deal, because it's
Why don't
kind
you
of
like
prevalent.
grandma? Why don't you like grandma? Why have you
It,
leave?
it's kind of prevalent right now, whether you want to believe it or not. And we also kind of smoothed over the point where when I forget Kaman's mom's name, but she grabs the bangle and they see a
They have a
train.
premonition. Yes, they see this
That was a
vision,
premonition,
which
yeah.
I'm trying to. I don't know. I'm trying to fully understand like the bangle. Like I don't know. The bangle is like I'm trying to figure out what is it guiding them towards. Like it feels so like initially I thought the bangle would have been interesting if it was like kind of like showing them like glimpses of the past or like something. I don't know. It's just a weird. It's a weird plot device where it's like we're
It's a
showing you
MacGuffin.
random images that are supposed to mean something. They're gonna mean something once it all comes together. We introduce other characters or whatever.
Yeah, the bangle
And
right now is the MacGuffin of the show. It's
MacGuffin.
the item that everybody wants now. The Jinn wanted to try and bring themselves home. It's a part of Kamala's legacy because it once belonged to Aisha, her great great grandmother, and of course she wants to keep it because it has some importance to her. Also, it connected her to be able to use her power, uh, and gives her. I guess it helps her focus. It's almost like a Green Lantern ring to me, almost. But
Yeah,
the
it's like a little
bangle, she had these little
conduit.
hard-like constructs that she can make, but she wasn't able to do that without the bangle on. But when Bruno was doing his little calculating, he said the power is not coming from the bangle; it's coming directly from you. So it's just enabling you to
That Jin
focus.
power. That
Yeah.
Jin power.
So I wonder if is she gonna grant some wishes? She's a Jinn. She's a Jinn. No, it's not happening. It's not how it works.
It'd be interesting, but no, I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
And then but that train comes back because Nani calls.
Yeah. Random phone call from Nani.
She calls. I need you to
That's so out of context too to me. Like you just call me in the middle
grandma
of
just called like, well, grandma, what's going? Hey, grandmas be up late. That's real. That's real. But it was like, okay, the story is pushing or moving. It's moving us along. It is very coincidental and perfectly well timed, but
yeah,
we got to see where it's going to go now. But yeah, we got that phone call, and I'm like, let's go to the next part of the quest. All right. Grandma clearly has some type of connection to the bangle without actually wearing it. Like she has to have some connection to it. So I have a lot of questions.
She's connected to it obviously because she was the one that sent it. She was the one that sent
Right.
the box.
So that would make me ask: has she put it on before? Has she worn it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that would, I don't know, that'd be a weird thing where it's like it would make more sense if she had the power at some point in time and used it, and then now she's sort of connected to it, so she has these premonitions and visions that link her to her granddaughter.
Or
versus if she just had it.
Wearing it.
What'd you say?
Or maybe she was like forbidden to wear it by Aisha.
I mean, but I wouldn't put it past her if she put it on one time.
Anyway, yeah.
And just tried it on to see what it does, and then maybe she's like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. Maybe she separated herself from it, but she still has a connection to it. So, yeah. And that also has a very nice parallel to kind of their experience, Kamala's mom's experience with just like them kind of moving to a new space, and like there's still this distance and connection between their like families, but they still really can't break that they can't break that connection. There's still family ties and lineages that draw us back to one another. So.
And the other bangle is still. I wonder if that's gonna pop up.
Yeah, all right. There's
another bangle, and not even when she calls Tama, you have to come out here. You have to come home, basically. And Kamala's like, Ami's not gonna let me go, and she's like, she got to come too. I'm like, really? That's what we're doing.
The whole family. Grandma's like, hey, I need to see you and my daughter. And now moms can't argue. She can't argue. She's like, yeah, grandma said we gotta come home. And she can't back out of that.
I don't know. I know because of purposes of the story, they're going to go. But I think in real life, the way her mom is so funky about the family dynamic from the motherland, she likely just like, I ain't going, and you ain't going neither. She's saying, ain't
No,
nothing good
she
about
didn't. As much as Moms was like dissing herself to her family, she still gives me the vibes that like she'll still do whatever she needs to do for her mom. But she's openly like, we have problems. But she's like, I'm still gonna have to show up for her. She still has that level of respect.
We'll see. I know they're gonna go. I said for the sake of the plot, they're gonna go. But
they're gonna go.
If she was that much of a stickler for trying to shut down everything to do with like her mom and grandma.
If that was the case, she should have went harder and been like blocking. Like if she was that type of mom, she would have went ahead and just been like blocked all forms.
Blocked her phone number.
Yeah, she would have blocked grandma's phone number, and then grandma would have had to hack into the. Grandma had to hack in.
But I think they be FaceTiming. So
yeah, that's true.
You can't. You can block the actual phone number, but you wouldn't
block
necessarily
FaceTime,
block the app. Huh?
You can block a phone number and like, I guess grandma.
But that wouldn't work with the app though.
Oh, I thought it did. Once you block the number, regardless, it works on all things.
No, because you're going through the app, it's just going over the internet and not necessarily through a cellular line. You could be on Wi-Fi, not necessarily connected to your phone number, but to an IP address and just get through because it's going through the app. And I don't know if moms and pops are that technically aware that they would be able to.
They're not even that technically savvy, so they wouldn't.
He couldn't even get Zuzu to work. He was upset about that. So I don't think pops is that acclimated to technology. But it's an interesting show. I like where it's going. Like I said, the family dynamic has been the most fulfilling part for me, and the other stuff is just kind of additive and looking for like these deep cuts and these Easter eggs that kind of ties everything together from the MCU into this storyline. Because that's been the bulk of what's going on here, the family dynamic and the Easter eggs that ties it to the rest of the MCU. Because I think they have that other movie coming out. I don't know when it's going to be, but the Marvels, which is going to be Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and I think Photon.
Whoa, wasn't ready for this. Whoa, what's happening? When did this happen?
If you look at the MCU breakdown of the list of movies coming out, I think they have a thing called The Marvels coming out, which is going to have Photon or whatever they're going to name Sister Girl that was in WandaVision.
Yeah, they're going to have to call her Photon.
Yeah. Because if they're going to have Captain Marvel, they can't call them both Captain Marvel, so it's going to be Photon.
It's just 2023. Wow, 2023.
See,
this is going to be wild. This is going to be wild. I can't wait. That's actually, that says 2020. This said July 28th, 2023.
Okay.
Oh, and Nia DaCosta is directing it. Hey, that's what's up.
So I think that while they're tying all this together, they're reeling us in with these little Easter eggs to tie everything together, which is a good and a bad thing, I think, because it can be kind of inclusive in that it makes you watch stuff, but some people ain't going to want to watch all the other
stuff. Yeah,
they may just be interested in this storyline and that's it. And you add too much into it, they're like, I'm not trying to go 22 strong. It's like I'm trying to get the wife to watch the other Thor movies because Thor Love and Thunder is coming out. And,
goodness.
She skipped out on Ragnarok. I don't think she saw Thor Dark World.
Wait a second. Ragnarok was actually good. Dark World wasn't good.
Exactly.
Well, try to... can you get her to like the Spark Notes on Dark World? Or like the highlights? You gotta give her something.
I think she'll actually watch. She said she'd watch Ragnarok.
Oh, please, yes. Have her watch Ragnarok. You might have to Spark Note or give her a YouTube video on Dark World because.
What is Spark Notes? Is that like the
Spark Notes? Let me update. No, well, Spark Notes was what we used for books and reading in high school and college to get summaries. It was Cliff Notes. Yeah, I like Cliff Notes, but you got to find the Spark Notes of videos for film.
And then when it wasn't politically correct, it was whatever for dummies when they would just break it down for.
Oh, those books.
Marvel movies for dummies.
Yeah, that's what we gotta get. Marvel MCU for dummies. That's what.
Get you caught up.
Yeah.
Man, appreciate you taking the time out to.
Of course.
talk this through with me. Andrea will hopefully be back next week. We will see
Miss
you.
you.
Yep. And also, it'll be the day before, I believe, BlurredCon.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Friday.
y'all got to get ready for that.
Yeah, day before BlurredCon, we're getting ready for that. Thank you once again, everybody. Check us out on Anchor. The Askari Cast is available on most platforms where you get your podcast from. Anchor, Apple, iTunes Podcast, Google Cast, Radio Cast, and like 6 or 7 other places. Check that out. Don't forget to check out Trekkie and Beyond with Andrea Rose Washington and Monica Pinkett. They're talking about Discovery and the Adventures of Michael Burnham and crew. Don't forget to check them out. And we will talk to you all next week. Appreciate you.
Peace.